he moves with intention. And that's like, seems like such a little thing, but it's such a big thing for us as instructors to see.
I just see Charles painting there, and I'm like, just kind of like a majestic. It's like almost watching a unicorn in the wild.
Meet Charles, a visionary filmmaker with roots that stretch across continents. Born and raised in Chad, Africa, Charles always had an eye for storytelling, a passion that began in the streets of his homeland, where vibrant culture and tradition were woven in his everyday life. At a young age, he set his sights beyond his borders, first traveling to Algeria and then France. There in the heart of European cinema, he honed his skills and deepened his understanding of the art form. It was in France that Charles discovered his voice as a filmmaker.
Charles just kind of stood out to me. Obviously, he's not from the US, so the accent is always interesting, and I think that's one of the things that makes him stand out. But I think one of the things that really makes him stand out is the fact that he moves with intention. And that's like, seems like such a little thing, but it's such a big thing for us as instructors to see.
Charles is one of the most flexible and versatile workers that you will ever have. You tell him to do something, he'll do it like that. He'll come back, no complaints. He'll ask, what next? And then he comes back, what next? What next? He's constantly wanting to do more, wanting to help out, and it really makes the production process go a lot faster. Speaking from personal experience with having him as a DP, on a shoot, one of our cam ops couldn't make it in because she was sick, and I asked Charles, hey Charles, do we need to find a replacement, or can you cam op? And he's like, I'm good to cam op. And when we did find a replacement, he said, no, I'm going to keep cam opping. So that's an example of him being versatile, but also he's not afraid to just go up there and move a light himself, hang off a ladder, rig stuff. He's very flexible and very versatile, and he brings the best and most immaculate vibes to the set. He's very chill, he's a fun person to be around, he's a great worker.
With a burning ambition and a heart full of stories yet to be told, Charles embarked on the next chapter of his journey, the United States. He arrived in America to pursue a degree in film, bringing with him not only his experiences from France, but also the rich culture tapestry of his African heritage. Now, Charles stands at the crossroads of his past and future. His journey from Chad to France, and now to the United States of America, is more than a personal quest. It is the embodiment of his dream to create films that unite people, transcend borders, and tell the universal stories of humanity.
Charles has, worked with me mostly doing lighting things, but he's also very interested doing, camera and other things. And, it's nice to see him develop all of his other skills. And I don't always get to be privileged of that from where I'm at. So as he progresses through the program itself, he'll be in different, classes, broadcasting, documentary, APN, FI7, things like that. So he's picking up other skills that I'm not even necessarily always aware of until he comes and helps me out. And so I get to kind of see that evolution of him, in a unique way. We're like, how do you know that,
Charles is a very, very good man. I can tell Charles comes from a good family. I can tell that he had a good upbringing. I can tell that also he put a lot of work into himself. I know that he invested into himself a lot to be the man that he is, that I see in my eyes. But the other thing is that Charles is very humble. Charles will never step out of line or have an ego. He's very grounded in just work and leaving it at that. He's very quick to switch from professionality to having fun.
I think one of his biggest strengths, hands down, is that he's incredibly likable. He's just a nice guy, and that actually goes a long way. If you're going to spend, 16 hours a day on a shoot with somebody, you probably want to get along with them. I've worked with people that were really talented, but just kind of horrible people. And, Charles is very likable. So obviously there's so much more to him than that, and also positives. But that to me is also one of those really important things, is when I see him, I'm like, oh yeah, it's Charles, cool. Like, he's a great guy.
He is punctual, he's straightforward. Whenever like we have a shoot or something, he's like 35 minutes early on the set, and not even the sets but also the class. Whenever I'm just going to the class, even if, no matter how early I am, I just see Charles's car parked outside, like, this guy's already here. He's straightforward. So as you guys know, he wants to be the best TP in the world, and he doesn't care about what anybody else is thinking about him. Or he's just straightforward. In any situation, if we are late on time and if he's not happy with the lighting, he just doesn't care. He just goes and changes the lighting. He just tries to get the best out of it. Doesn't matter like anyone is telling him, bro, we don't have any time. He's like, no, I don't like it, I'm gonna change it. Talking about Lesco Productions, this is the only thing he talks about like all the time. Lesco Productions. I don't know if you guys like saw his car, but his license plate says Lesco, and I think his hard work will result in the succession of Lesco Productions. It's gonna be the number one production company in the US, and hope he gives me the job.
Charles's journey is far from over. In fact, it is just the beginning. With each frame he captures, he's crafting not just his story, but the stories that reflect the world we all share and see.